about you, baby. Yeah, I'm mad about you.
Hey, welcome to Time Bomb Tips, and today I'm going to do a video on how to lurk in Madden. Now, myself, I've been a defensive line player for the last 15 years while I've played Madden, but no, probably more like 20 years. But this year, in Madden 17, I said enough is enough, and I decided I have got to figure out how to lurk. And I started playing as a middle linebacker, outside linebacker, as a linebacker, and I've put it together. And I'm going to show you today how to get it done. All right, let's look at the mechanics. That you're going to use the right trigger to sprint, kind of get into position quickly as you need to. You're going to use the left trigger to strafe. That's going to make you face the quarterback. And they're going to use the Y button to intercept the ball. That's the ball hawk. Now, most people will tell you to just hold Y the whole time. But if you actually do the skills trainer on Madden 17, it tells you to start pressing Y at the peak of the balls being thrown. Now, where I like to do it is I like to watch sort of the quarterback and the guy that I'm covering and keep my defender in between them. So as soon as I see the quarterbacks throwing the ball, that's when I press Y and just try to get into the best position possible. So it's a combination of using the right trigger to run into position, the left trigger to strafe so you're in the best position to make the pick, and then the Y button when the ball's in the air so that you can intercept it, pick it off, start going back the other way. This is a great example of using the strafe function. You see my linebacker, I'm using the left trigger to just follow him over here as that receiver moves through the middle of the field. I know that my other defender is going to pick him up once he gets to the number, so I just have a small area of the field that I need to cover him. And using the strafe right there and then just hitting the Y button as the ball is thrown, perfect timing, that's going to get the ball every time. In this next play, it's play action. It kind of makes me bite a little bit, and you see me run away from the play towards the play and then back out. I adjust, and I just kind of sit in that position as soon as the ball is thrown. I know that I'm kind of in strafe covering two receivers. When you can cover more than one receiver in a position and then just get ready to press the Y button to pick it off, you know you're in good shape. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is anticipation. Now, the way you're going to do that is by, as the game's moving along, it's really a chess match. Your opponent's doing something, you're making adjustments, your opponent's going to adjust back, and you've got to try to stay one step ahead of them. Whoever's the most steps ahead is in the best position. So here's another example of anticipating the play. He had been hitting the halfback in the flat, so I'm with the outside linebacker, and I don't just cover him outright. I make him feel like it's open. So he kind of playmakers it up to him, tries to hit him, but I run in there and lurk it, take it all the way back for a pick six. Come on, that's what it's about. The other area of anticipation to getting these user lurks is what we call baiting. This game is a chess match, so what you want to do is make your opponent think that you're going one way and then you're going to go to another, because we're all just looking for the reads. We're like, is this guy covering here? No, then this throw is open. I'm going to make that throw. You're making these decisions sometimes in a fraction of a second, so anything you can do to make them think that a play is open is going to help you out to get these lurks. See, right here, I make him think that I'm running right, cut back. He thinks that play is open over the middle, but it's not, because my guy just cuts back, and just as quickly as he made that read, it gets intercepted, and I'm going back the other way. Sometimes you don't even realize that you are being baited. That's when it works so well. I know there'll be times when I throw interceptions, I will think that it is completely open, and sometimes the guy will get a lucky animation, but a lot of times they're just two steps ahead of me. They know I feel like they're in my head, and that's how they made the pick. The last area that I want to get into is defensive play call. Whatever play you're calling, the CPUs, they all have a responsibility, and then you have your own responsibility. If you can set up your plays so that the CPU is covering everything, and then your user has an area that they need to cover, that's really all you can do. You're giving yourself the best situation in every play. If you're making the right play call, you should be able to make the stop. So let's take a look at this play. You can see here I have the play art up, and you can really see I've got the two quarter flats on the outside. I've got my two middle linebackers going to hooks in the middle, and all my secondary is basically going deep zones. So you can notice that my middle linebacker, who I'm usering, has basically the biggest responsibility between the hook and the quarter. So I know anyone who comes into that zone, I've basically got to defend them because there's no help there. My secondary is backing up. So what I do is I had been blitzing a bit with my middle linebacker this game, so I start to bait as soon as he's starting. Every time he's basically doing a fake snap or any sort of adjustment, I just make my linebacker cut towards the QB. making him think I'm definitely sending heat this time. Definitely sending heat. Definitely sending heat. And then what do? I run at him a little bit and then immediately cut back. I cover that like middle zone, get that lurk. So let's look at this play. This is one of those times when the game is pretty much on the line. We're at 2 minutes left. He's on the 1. He had just tried to run it on me, and I stuffed him. I went into the 60 double blitz out of the goal line 5-3-3. I like to run it when I think people might be pitching out or if they might be throwing. And I knew I was pinched the line here and kind of like sent them to the left, but then I just started picking up all my. I had the 2 of the 3 safeties and cornerback I had going into outside zones, 1 in the middle, and then I put a couple of my linebackers into zones, and I knew I was just going to lurk in the middle here and just kind of have bait forward, and then if I had to cut back out into the middle, it just worked perfectly. The hardest part was not running it out of the end zone. I mean, that was a huge play for me. I actually had to punt it away after that, and then ended up getting lucky and making another user picked. But that's what it's all about, just putting yourself in the best situation. So remember to use the mechanics, anticipate, and make those defensive play calls, stay a step ahead. That's how you lurk. That's how you can do it. I've been Time Bomb, and that's my tip.
Mad about you, baby. Yeah. I'm mad.